Hi, hello, how are you, Lynn?
I'm good. Nice to see you. How are you
Good,
doing?
it's been many a year.
Been many a year, absolutely. I
Uh,
love your hair. It looks
oh,
amazing.
thank you. I've got used to it now, just about.
Oh. Oh. Well, so far it's just the four of us. So we shall see if anybody else turns up, but if they don't, then that's fine. Absolutely fine. So yeah. Okay, so it's just a little chat about choreography, really, and how we kind of approach it. So I thought I'd just show you, I'll just do a little screen share here. Hopefully, I can find it of the way that I tend to do things. So let's go with that. Can we see that? Okay, here we go. This is my not particularly. Oh, we've got Sue here as well. Hi, Sue. This is me just kind of showing you how I kind of draw out a song or something. There's actually two different songs here. The top part is where how I just kind of like I just write the time codes and then just put in things like, oh, okay, so is this section or is it a piece of a particular instrument, that kind of thing, and it just gives me an idea of where the song is and what to do. And the other one was a song that I choreographed before, and I draw arrows, I just scrawl notes, generally with my terrible handwriting, which nobody else can see. So it's just as whatever you need really, and whatever works for you, just scribble it out and have a little play. So I shall stop that share there. I'm just going to start mute just for a second because there's a little bit of other noise happening around. So, oh, we've got Emma joining us now as well. Lovely. Hello, hi Mel. Lovely to see you. How you doing? Sorry, you have to unmute yourself because yeah, I've muted everybody, but it's just because when we start to get a few people and there's kind of other noise, it's a bit of a
Hello.
hey, sweetie.
Yes, all good. Bit sneezing going on and a bit
Oh.
bit bunged up, so I might sound a bit funny.
Oh, no, that's fine. You sound actually perfectly fine. I think Emma's in the same boat, aren't you, lovely?
Oh no.
Yeah, lots of bugs going around at the moment. So yeah, yeah. Okay, so Emma, do you want to say anything, or do you really not want to? Completely understand if you don't. Let me just spotlight. Sweetie, I had to mute everyone because there was some background noise. So if you unmute yourself, that'd be cool.
No, sorry, it's because I'm using my phone and I don't
It's
normally.
it's difficult to
Um,
find, isn't it?
yeah, I'm just being lazy because I'm on the sofa. Um, yeah, I'm not going to say a lot this evening, only because I don't feel great. But as you know, choreography is it's a big love of mine within dance, and so I'll be interested to see other people's views on whether they prefer choreo or improv or a mix of the two. Um, so yeah, just happy to listen in.
Oh, lovely. All right, we won't strain your voice any longer. I shall let you have a little listen. So yeah, so I was just briefly going through how I kind of like scroll out just notes, just any notes that come into my head, just write it all down, and it just helps you to plan and plan out what you want to do, little, and actually plan out where different instruments and sections are in the song. Really, so that's how I do it. Anybody want to tell us how they go about it?
I do a similar sort of thing where I keep listening to the music and then I work out sections like, oh, that's a chorus, that's a little instrumental bit, and I break it down into sections. Um, I don't do like counting out beats or anything like that. Um, but I work out all the moves in my head and write them down with the different sections, and then I go and dance it and see if it works.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether that's weird or not, but yeah, I basically dance it all in my head first and then go and do it physically.
Yeah, I don't think it's weird. I think everyone's got a different brain, and I think that's the interesting thing about these chats as well, to find out what works for different people as well. And I know you're very, very visual, and you have really visual dreams and things, so it just makes sense that you would think it through in terms of vision rather than actually doing it. Yeah, absolutely. Abby, how do you approach things?
Um, Very similar, actually. Yes, I will listen to the music, break it down into sections, see where the repeats are. Like you, and I might, I'll pick out the instruments if that is a particular thing. I'll do the counts and the beats if they're a bit complex. Maybe I might need to do that if there's something in it that I doesn't quite work out, and then I can work it out from that. And then very much I do tend to picture it in my head to see how it is. And then, of course, I come to dance it, and it's not physically possible because I can't get from A to B in that amount of time. So all that goes on. I've tried doing it the other way as well, just dancing to a piece of music, and it depends on the music. Sometimes the music, I will do it that way, and then usually that'll be an improvisation, but because I dance it, it sort of turns into a choreography, really, because there are whole chunks of it that are choreographed by that point. But I quite like that because it still gives you the freedom to go with the moment in a performance if you're not hidebound by your choreography. But I do love choreography. The other thing that happens a lot with me is that I'll start thinking about it in my head and picturing it, and then more often than not it'll be a group choreography because I really like group choreography. So that quite often happens as well. I might think of it as a solo initially, but it depends on the music. But I perhaps get a bit more inspired by group choreography, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I mean, when you get into group choreography, you've got formations and things that you can do, and
If you're lucky.
yeah,
Yeah.
I always find doing formations really difficult to explain it to people. So yeah, yeah. What's in your head and trying to and get other people to understand where they need to go and things, and everybody interprets words differently. Yeah, yeah. I think Lucky knows that, don't you, sweetheart? Because she's in my troupe. So yeah.
I was just thinking the same actually. I kind of it depends, doesn't it, whether you're doing it on your own for yourself or whether you're doing it a bunch of people. I quite like that. Done different processes down the years. I certainly do the now. If we've done things, I've kind of done that. I tend to go look for the words because I'm absolutely crap at counting. So I go look for the words and then I kind of go round that and then that helps structure stuff. But I kind of do tend to come at it from all different angles, a bit like Kate was saying. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I like this bit, this would go in there. But I think when you do it with a group, it's quite fun because you can, or it can be a total blooming nightmare because
Yeah,
there's somebody that's just like does it. I know somebody that just counts everything and knows it's got to be like this, and then other people who are kind of like, yeah, but I want to do this, and I certainly with Sword Sisters down the years, it's either been a harmonious joy or a total frigging fight nightmare. It's quite funny, isn't it, how it goes? But yeah, certainly I think when you're doing it with a group, I think that's quite fun because you can the way I like to do it is just kind of like, oh, who wants what move do you like or what just kind of like do it organically, like say a bit
yeah,
kind of haphazard. It's quite fun, isn't it? Because it eventually comes together, and then that's all right too. But I think for people that like I've got a more structured approach, that can be just as frustrating. So it kind of it's quite fun. It's quite fun to
I think
hear how
every
to
time is
do
different,
it.
isn't it? That's the creative process. Every time is completely different, and there's no rights or wrongs. It's just what works at the time, really. Yeah.
I think one of the things we used to find quite a bit was that actually even just agreeing on which piece of music you want to dance to. We got a group thing going. It's just like I don't know, I don't know. Quite funny, isn't
Yes, that's one thing I learned very early on with my troop tribulations. It's like it's really nice to kind of like let it out to everybody, but at the end of the day, somebody's got to make the decision. So it's like, right, I'm the director. It's my choice of music. Okay, you can suggest things, and if I like the music, we'll do it. If I don't like the music, I will not remember the choreography myself.
it?
So there's no point. So yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Do
Anyone?
other people also find that even in a piece of music that you love, there's always a section. My teacher used to call it the "oh shit" moment, where just nothing will fit, and you just cannot think what I do to this bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like quite a few creative processes, isn't it? You'll have those moments of flow where you just all kind of like yeah, and then there's that sticky bit and all that kind of
Yeah,
writer's block moment or whatever else you call it. It's just like
yeah.
no, all that last 30 seconds. It just feels like a real slog or something.
Yeah, I always think that sometimes it's better to give yourself rules. So if you do find yourself suddenly just not being able to come up with anything, so sometimes, particularly if I'm doing like class levels, it's like, okay, so they need to do camels, so there needs to be camels in this, or a particular move of any other kind. I write the moves down first, and it's like, right, somewhere that's got to go in, and then that's at the front of my mind when I'm actually listening to the music. So it's more likely that I'm going to add those in than not really. So that's another kind of thing that can help. Yeah. Sue, have you got anything to add about how you do your choreographies?
I'm trying to remember how I do it. And
It's always
the first
different.
thing I do is I get the lyrics of the music if it has lyrics,
Uh-huh.
and write all of those down, and that helps me remember the structure of the song.
Yeah.
And sometimes the lyrics suggest moves.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I thought you were going to say you start with the costumes, so your costumes are always so fun. Can you get choreography inspiration from making a costume?
Costumes are generally a fairly last minute.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can all be about the theme, can't it? It can be like, right, we've chosen a theme, so you've got the costume, maybe the costume comes first, or you've chosen a costume, and it's like, okay, so what would this costume work with? So then you go and look for the music to work with the costume, really. So there is that way of working as well. Yeah.
Same if you're using props.
Yes.
If you've got a prop you're using, you're sort of listening to music like, okay, how does that work with the prop?
Yeah.
Does it work with the prop? Because there was one time I was trying to do a dance, and the prop I wanted to use, it just didn't work at all, so I left it out and it worked much better then.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes things just don't work, as well. So it's not a bad thing to abandon a choreography and come back to it, maybe like in a few months or a few years, and sometimes it can work quite well then. But yeah, Mel, how do you and Paula approach things?
From totally different angles.
Brilliant.
She's a counter, and I'm with Sue on the lyrics. I think, often the lyrics will suggest certain moves, and it can be helpful for remembering. But because we fuse different styles, so there's like a theme to each piece that we've done. So if we don't necessarily know that much about that style, we'll go off and do some research, and then kind of fudge it all together, but try to, and then there'll be parts that don't flow, and it's really good having Paula to work with because she's more experienced than me, but also, yeah, just coming at it from different ways. You come up with different things. We always get there in the end. We usually change the end several times. The ending is always, I think, one of the hardest parts, how to end something. So we'll change it several times. The current one, we still haven't quite finished the ending.
So is that because you think it kind of stays in people's memory and you want it to be a big kind of finish kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because also you don't, whilst we'll have some repeats, you don't want too many repeats. So you're trying to, yeah. And yeah, maybe finish with a bit of a bang or a nice a nice pose for a nice picture at the end. But yeah, we've done some interesting stuff. Working on my own's harder. Emma's been helping me lately.
Aw.
To kind of with an old choreo. One I've done at yours, just to try and make it a bit more challenging and interesting. But yeah, I find it a lot harder on my own.
Yeah. Aw. Yeah, having someone to bounce against is useful, isn't it?
Yeah, you do get that stuck moment. Yeah, the old shit moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, repeats. We touched on repeats there. Um, what does anybody think about repeats? Are you kind of for them or are you rather not go near them?
I like them because you only got to remember one bit for multiple pieces.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one set of moves for multiple sections of the thing. But yeah, too many, it's a bit dull.
Yeah.
But and doing a repeat but slightly different. So doing it in a different direction, or like, if you did hips and then chest, do chest then hips,
Yeah.
just to do the same thing in a new way.
Yeah. Yeah, my favourite is to simply turn the combination to a different plane, basically. So if you were facing the audience when you did the combination, first of all, turn your back on them and start it that way, or turn to the side or something, because it looks different from the audience, but you're doing exactly the same thing. So that's one thing I use quite a lot.
Sometimes with that, if there's a chorus, but it's slightly different, if you know what I mean, like there's a slightly different tone to it at the end of the song, the last chorus or something, then it suggests to change it up anyway.
Yeah.
So it might be more sort of have a more touch of an ooey gooey feel to it, or or a sharper feel to it. So it suggests a change, but the same but different. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think kind of what we're all kind of talking about is that we're listening to the music and we're just trying to make that music visible in a visible sense, really. Yeah, which is what I love to do. But I mean, there is another way of approaching choreography where you actually work with the beats and you don't go with the melody at all. I mean, that's kind of the basis of American tribal style. It's kind of working with the beats more than anything else. I think they do choreography for a little bit as well, but generally it's kind of like it's following the beats more than anything else. So yeah, I just thought I'd pop that out there, see what anyone thinks, if anyone's got any views on that. Or
Yeah, I think often it's a mix, isn't it?
yeah,
Sometimes there's some bits of the music where you just got to have the beat, and then there's other times, like you say, you want to feel that melody kind of. Well, I think, yeah, it's nice to use both, especially as, yeah, I'm not so good at the counting or the hearing the always. It's just a bit of, but yeah, I mean, I rely on the words a lot when I do it myself. I certainly, the words certainly help me to,
yeah,
yeah, remember it and get it even.
I think that's the thing, like you were saying about coming back to something after a while. I'm always amazed at how I've missed stuff in the music. You know, I'm listening to it again after a long break, and I'm hearing stuff that I just didn't pick up on, even after multiple listenings. Or I don't know what that's to do with. It's just, what you're attuned to, perhaps, or
yeah,
what you're looking for, something to express. That's really interesting too. So it is worth coming back to things, isn't it?
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
The other thing I've discovered, I go back to some of my much older choreographies, and I just think, how did we do it that fast? I've really slowed down. I've been dancing for belly dancing for 20 odd years, and
Yeah.
when I try and look at the stuff that I did originally, I'm just thinking, no, where's Audacity? I need to slow this down a lot if we're going to do this again. Because quite often, my students who've been with me a long time said, "Oh, can we do that again?" And I'm thinking, well, you might be able to, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting. Sorry, Emma,
following
you
on from what, sorry, I thought I will chip in, sorry.
fine.
Just following on from what Abby said, I think it's really nice to revisit choreographies. Um, I never used to do it, and I don't know why. And I ended up like I've got a stash of over 100 choreographies over the time. And then I thought to myself, this is silly. They've only been danced maybe once or twice. Um, so I do revisit them, but it's funny how when you've grown as a dancer, you'll go back to a choreography that you did like 7 years ago, and I almost end up re-choreographing half of it because my style has changed or evolved, or the moves that I used then I don't use as much now. Um, so I think it's quite interesting. Like Abby says, sometimes you hear the music differently, or it might just be that you want to take it up another level, or sometimes the reverse. And I actually think, oh, let's simplify it, and like sometimes less is more. So I think it can be really nice to revisit choreographers.
Yeah. Yeah, Abby touched on using Audacity to slow it down. This is the great thing about modern technology. It's moved on. It always used to be that if you try to slow down a track, you would pitch shift it as well. But now we have algorithms that mean that it doesn't work. It doesn't do that. And I found that extremely helpful for teaching my flamenco classes because flamenco is very fast. So yeah, and you don't the Audacity. I think that's free software, isn't it? Audacity. I'm not sure. Yeah, yes. And there's online ones like I use an online audio trimmer, I think it's called. So there's those ones that you can use as well. So yeah, you're not limited to how fast or slow something is now because you can speed it up and you can slow it down. Yay! Modern technology. It's great.
Yes, we very much appreciate that in the flamenco class.
Yes. Yes, footwork very fast in flamenco.
Go.
Yeah, as I say, but because you can slow it down, it does mean that you know, yeah, you've made it more approachable too.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that's good to
But then
hear.
I suppose you could also mess with it for the mood of a piece if you wanted to just play with it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're not actually just limited anymore to the actual track that you've got. You can do so much with it. You can, you can add all sorts of effects if you want to. You can mix it with other tracks. It's all, yeah, really fun to do these days.
Shorten it if you know.
Oh yeah.
Too tired.
Oh yes, shortening is very useful. Absolutely. Yeah.
I was gonna say that was about the limit of my audio editing skills. Was like, yeah, we'll stop that there with a fade out. That'll do.
Yeah, but as things are getting kind of like free and online and stuff, there's more and more tools that can be used, so it's worth looking at. But again, it's whether you want to pop the energy and effort into it as well. But it's just give us more tools and more freedoms, which is always nice. The other thing, I know that Jelena, as a choreographer, uses this technique quite a lot, and I use it quite a lot in my doing my choreographies, is the combo sandwich. So you do a combo, and then you do another combo, and then you do the first combo again. So the combo sandwich is a good one that you can use, which is quite nice. And you can, again, you can kind of use it as a different orientation. So you could turn sideways to do the combo the second time or something. So that's a nice technique, can be used. Emma, you did sorry, I don't want to make you talk or anything, but you did do a workshop for us over in Longbutt Beat last year, which was based on doing 32 beat combos, which was which is kind of the length of a verse generally. So 32 beats is like 4-bar phrases repeated again, which is it's an interesting way of working as well. So it's another technique people might want to try.
Yeah, I think it's quite useful, particularly for maybe beginners. Well, not beginners in belly dance, but big people who are quite new to coming up with choreographies. Maybe for their first solo or something, because I think it helps build a dance quite quickly. Um, I think when you become a more advanced dancer, you realise that perhaps by doing that, you miss out on like the nuances in the music or the accents that you want to hit. So it's slightly different. But I think particularly for group choreographies, it can be really useful. Or even when I teach a choreography, I tend to teach it in like little combos. For one, because I remember it better, and two, just because I think like I can drill little bits of it with my dancers before we put it into the choreo. So
It also means that you're not limited to using the same piece of music as well, isn't it? You can switch the tracks around.
yeah,
And like I say, in terms of 32 beats, actually, I think I said 4 bar. It depends on whether you count it as eights or fours, really. But it's an eight bars, which generally tends to be like the length of a verse or a chorus, particularly in pop music and things. And we have a Ginger Chaos Monster coming in. Hello. I see angels behind you as well, Emma, which is really lovely. I should just light you for a second. There she is. Anyone else got anything they want to tell us about how they do their process? Oh, videoing. Anybody want to mention videoing as well? Sorry, Mel.
That's really weird because, yeah. So just kind of like just improvising and videoing yourself. Excuse my redness, by the way, my rosacea's gone mad and I'm in my pajamas.
Oh, I didn't realise, sweetheart.
Um, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of trying out different things and videoing yourself, which can be a bit cringy. But then you can pick up on little bits that you really like, and bits that you don't like, or, just and remember what you did as well, because you know how sometimes you might have these ideas and you've danced them, but then you can't, when it comes to, you think, what did I do to that bit? It was really good. I can't remember it.
I can see so
So,
many people nodding to that.
yeah, videoing's great, I think. Just privately for myself.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
that happens to me a lot if I do improvise. Usually just the first time I just go, have a go, and I do something that's really nice, and I just have no idea what it is. But I do now for my classes. I do like Emma says, I teach in chunks, and then I will video that combination, that section, and send it to the students after the class, and then eventually do the whole thing. I always have to be really careful though to go back over the transitions between the chunks, because it's so easy to lose those, and then it's clunky because I've taught it in chunks, and I really have to go back and sort of smooth out how do you get from section A to section B of the chorus or whatever. Don't know if anyone else finds that, but that's a bit
Yes.
of the problem with teaching in chunks. I think it's the only way to do it. I think, but that's something to go back and look at.
Yeah, transitioning is, yeah, a major part of kind of like connecting it all together, isn't it? Absolutely. Yeah.
I have to offer my excuses as pie is just out of the oven
Oh,
now.
lovely.
Excellent. Glad to have joined you. Nice to see you, folks. See you
And you,
again.
Lucky. You take care. Thanks
Yeah,
for
have a
joining.
good evening, one and all.
Lovely. Yeah. Yeah, I think with the videoing, you have to be very disciplined with where you kind of save things to and stuff as well. So it's just like as soon as I videoed something straight away, I will put it into a folder on the computer in the right folder. Because if I haven't done that and then I'm looking for something, it can drive you absolutely nuts. So yeah, but yeah, lots of like just tiny little twiddly bits, but it's just so important because the next, I mean, it's like in 5 minutes later, I can come back to it and think, I have no idea what I did. But and you can also it gives you that third person's kind of opinion because you can look at it and go, actually that didn't work. It felt nice, but it really just doesn't work. It doesn't look right. Or you can tweak it and go, actually, if I did my arm like that would be so much better. So yeah, videoing, just love it. I've always used video, always. Yeah, because writing it down, it just doesn't compute.
No, it's hard. Again, if you come back to something that isn't videoed, just looking at the notes, I'm thinking, I mean, even though I use my own standard terminology, you come back, and it's the timing that's often tricky, isn't it? When you come back to
Absolutely.
notes,
Yeah.
if you haven't really detailed the timing of moves. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've become much more reliant on videos in recent years. It's been much very useful. Mm.
The historical record is what I do it, what I call it, particularly in tribulations in my class groups, because there's always somebody who says no, it was on the left, and somebody says no, it was right, and it's like okay, we'll consult the historical record and we'll find out. So I always have a laptop so we can all see, so we all know, and it's like yeah, that really helps no end, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the only problem when I film the choreography and send it out, like Abby does, to my dancers. I don't do it every week. I'll perhaps do it like every 3 or 4 weeks, send a bit more of the choreo out. And then it backfires because I get to class, forget a little bit of the choreography, and I get shouted at. No, 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 you didn't do that arm. You definitely did this arm in the video. And then they'll get the phones out the bag and to make their point, and I'll be like, oh God, yeah, I did. So
Yeah.
yeah, it comes back to bite me. But no, it's good really. But I will say sometimes just before I go and teach the next week, I'll watch the video just to refresh my mind as well, especially if it's close to a hafla. I've got a lot of routines going on in my head. Um, so you're right, videoing is just so valuable for so many reasons.
yeah, no, I could not survive without my videos. It's like I put the videos on my phone as well, so I can just look at it beforehand as well. So yeah, yeah, always need that. Sorry, the cat's playing with the microphone.
I did find after COVID, when my students were ready to think about performing again, and because things had gone really flaky and I don't have the same personnel at each class now, I just had to sort of pare down and create choreographies where everyone was just in their own space, so that when we came to perform it wouldn't matter if somebody wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? So I'd stopped doing formations and patterning. But how long is it now? 5, getting 6 years. I've recently just snuck in. I've got to do some patterning because it's so frustrated. There's only so much you can do with just people in their own space and all doing the same thing. I mean, you can mix and match people doing different things, but even that's tricky when you don't know what personnel you've got for performance. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I found it worked. It has served us quite well in this sort of gradual return. I don't know if anyone else has found the return really slow. Um, but that's been quite interesting. But now my two current dancers that we're trying to learn have both got patterning, but things are settling a little bit, and people are a bit more willing to commit. Whether they want to be in to come to something or to
Right.
commit to it. So it's getting a little bit easier, which is
Yeah.
much more fun because I did get a bit tired of just doing the really simple stuff with the
Yeah,
individual dancers.
yeah, no, I there we
Lynn,
go.
you've muted.
Sorry, I was trying to mute because Wookie was like playing with the microphone and then purring and stuff. Sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, I've tried to go back to in-person classes, but it's just not working. People just don't come, and the costs of room hire is just too much. So it's just still online everything, and even trying to do haflas and things, I've had to just kind of like pause them because even when I do all the online classes and things, people just don't want to come and perform where I am personally, but I don't know where it is for others. I mean, Emma, your haflas are always beautifully attended, they seem to be. So, yeah, I think it's just pockets and areas. Yeah. How's it round where you are, Mel?
Well, I've only held one that I couldn't go to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah, I think for me, because I was dancing with Faye, I did find the commitment of having to go. It was about twice a week. Because she sort of has like a kind of she's it's difficult because she's not got a massive class enough to split. So you kind of end up going to 2 classes a week, and it was getting difficult for me. So I have gone to Zoom. I mean, it's not, you know, it's great. It's not the same as being in the room. Emma, need to live closer, please. Um, um, but yeah, I find the flexibility of Zoom just fantastic, actually. It really works for me, and I'm still got Paula to dance with, in person, and doing things like learning on Zoom and then coming and performing. It was great to perform in a group again. I had really missed it. I didn't realize how much I'd missed performing in a big group until I came in December to Emma's. Um, but yeah, I think it has dropped off. I think things have dropped off a bit around here. I suppose it probably might depend who you ask, but I know, phase classes are a lot smaller
Right.
than they were, and it is tricky because then, yeah, you don't have enough people to cover the hall, but you need the hall regularly to get the people, so
Yeah.
yeah, it is a tricky one.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Zoom. I absolutely love Zoom. But yeah, that kind of connection thing, I've missed it so much, which is why I set this up. Basically, it's just like I need to talk to other dancers because people don't ask questions so much on Zoom, even though I say, the chat is open, you can type them, you can email me, you can unmute yourself at points, but people just don't, which is fine. And a lot of people like to come on, do the video rather than actually come live, which again, it's fine and it's great. And I do exactly the same thing. If I can't make a class, then I'll watch the video instead if I'm going to somebody else's. And it works a bit better because life's just got so hard. I think there's so many demands on us to do so much stuff, and the weather as well being freaky too doesn't help either. So it's kind of, yeah, but I do miss that connection, which, like I say, which is why I'm hoping that this will help anybody else missing the connection too.
Yes, I think all my students really did appreciate coming back in person, and yeah, my numbers actually aren't bad. For a while, they were it was flaky, and I only teach two classes a month. Well, the class I was doing, that's just two a month, but they're 2 hour. They're more like workshops, and the other
Right.
thing is they're standalone. Apart from when we start trying to build up the choreography again. But the other thing I did actually initially was because I talked about creating simple choreographies that people could do. I actually developed choreographies that I could teach in a 2 hour class. So you can
Right.
imagine how simple they
Yeah.
are. But for a group and for something like a fete or a hafler even, they don't have to be very complex to be fun, do they?
No.
They're short and sweet and jolly, and there's enough people for the audience to look at. I find that has worked quite well. Um, and now I've had even got have got some new starters, which is really nice, and another new little beginners group as well. So things have gradually, they are working quite well in person, but it's the flakiness, like you say. Nobody
Yeah.
will commit. They're pay as you go.
Yeah.
I couldn't get anybody to pay up front for
Oh
groups of
gosh.
classes, and none of that.
Yeah.
That's all gone.
Yeah.
I actually would prefer to, in some ways, like pay for a term. Do you know what I mean? So I know there's a term, and then I know what I'm achieving in that term, and then it finishes, there's a little break, and then, if the next term, you're going to be on holiday for 3 weeks, if you're lucky enough to do something like that, you might miss that term and do the next one rather than, yeah, I think sometimes people feel like it can feel like it's a big ongoing commitment
Yeah.
that yeah. But I love a workshop, 2 hours when I'm next up to it. Yeah, a couple of hours workshop where you're going and you know what you're achieving or hoping to achieve from it. And then you can go away and use it in your own time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you, Mel?
I'm in Peterborough.
Oh, too far from me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I seem to be, yeah, there doesn't seem to be as much we have to travel a bit for haflers from here. That's why we did the hafler. We thought, oh, we'll do one. We thought it'd be fun. Do a hafler, they said. It would be fun, they said. And I think it was fun. I don't know.
Oh.
I think it was fun. Yeah. Next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think things just have to change, don't they? That's the thing. We just have to kind of bend with it and go with the flow. And yeah, and in terms of actually doing choreography, anything goes really. Whatever works for you, it goes. And sometimes it's a painful process, and you just have to commit to something. And just if nothing's working, then just yeah, don't be afraid to say, I'll try something else. Really, I think that's kind of yeah. Anybody else got any other points or they'd like to sum it up with, or
I'm going to throw one more controversial thing into the mix.
right?
I know. So, has anyone tried using AI to create a choreography? Because I did just out of interest. I wasn't planning on using it at all because I actually enjoy the choreography process. Um, but I just put something like create a fun and um, lively choreography to Kiss Kiss by Tarkan, and it was amazing what came back. Um, and I was kind of dancing it in my head, like singing this tune in my head and like seeing would it work, and it would work. And I just wonder whether people will do that, because I know a lot of people find the choreography process quite difficult. I know I have dancers come to me and they just say they don't know where to start. It feels overwhelming. And I hope, in a way, I hope it doesn't go that way, because I just think you'll lose all that creative inspiration. But I wonder if people will start to use that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I hadn't even considered using it like that. How did it come back to you, sweetheart? Was it like was it video or pictures or just
It
written?
was it was written, but very much kind of as in like 8 counts, 4 counts, which is kind of how I work anyway. But we all know that we all interpret things differently. Like even when I'm doing my choreography notes, they probably wouldn't make sense to anybody else at the time. So that's what I mean. I don't know how successful it would be, but maybe people will use it as a starting block. I don't know. And then would people think that's cheating? I don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's like anything with AI, isn't it? It's like, oh, that threatens our job a bit, doesn't it? There is that kind of worry, but it's a tool, isn't it? Just like any tool, it's there to be used, I suppose.
Yes, and I've come across lots of teachers who really don't enjoy doing choreography. So
Really?
if it's something that you struggle with and don't
Yeah.
enjoy, then yeah, I suppose the only thing is, where are they getting their information from? Because most AI creative stuff is nicked from somebody else. But
Well,
on the
yeah.
other hand, that's a tricky one anyway, because we've all nicked stuff. That's how we learn, you know.
Yeah,
It's,
well, that's it exactly. But I think with the AI as well, it's not just what nicked from one person. It's like what we do. We learn from everywhere else. So I think that's the major point of the arguments, isn't it? Generally, but yeah, it's that. Yeah, hmm. Interesting.
Have you seen, it comes up on my Facebook, this like mirror, and it's Katia from Strictly. And there's this mirror where she teaches you through this like AI mirror thing.
Really? Gosh, no, I've not
Yeah,
seen.
I imagine it's hellishly expensive.
Wow.
A bit scary having her kind of in the room with you teaching you. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like, yeah, next time it comes up, if it comes up, I'll try to share it to the group. So I
Okay,
was like,
that'd be
wow, that's
cool.
amazing. But yeah, I
Mm.
suppose it's a bit like like Just Dance on the Switch or whatever, but better,
Yeah.
Because with that you can just cheat and move your arms.
Oh. Hmm. Okay, I think maybe anybody else want to contribute anything at all? I think we're all just thinking, oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, thank you so much for your time and your contributions. It's been really fascinating. And as always, I've learned something. The AI thing, I hadn't even thought of that. That's really cool. So yeah, thank you so much for your time and coming here. And yeah, next month, we're going to be talking about how we practice. So if you want to join us to talk about how we practice, please do so. So I shall stop the recording now, but if anybody wants a natter, I'm here anyway. Here we go.